So good morning, folks. Here I am again with my mom, and one of the favorite dishes that she makes for us, so she's going to be my guest cook today. She's going to be making something called grated bread. Now, when I was growing up, I always called it gritted bread, but I think the proper name for it is grated bread, and this dish is made out of corn. So she's going to tell you a little history about that bread, and then we'll show you how we make it. Mom, so tell us about your great-grandmother, how she used to do it.
My great-grandmother was a full-blooded Cherokee Indian, and back when she made it, they didn't have no graters. They had a rock. It was a big round rock, and it was chewed out, and they took the corn and grated it in that rock. Okay, my grandmother and my mother didn't do the rock. They done a hand grater and grated the corn. So when this recipe's passed down to me and made a lot easier, I used a blender to pulsate the corn. So it's a lot easier recipe.
So let me just recap that just a little bit. So great-grandmother used a round hewed out rock with a little hole in it, and as they grated it, the corn would fall into that hole.
Yes.
Then as my grandmother and then my great-grandmother and grandmother got it, then they started using a handmade grater, and they would actually take the corn and grate the corn. I think now when it was passed down to Mom, she used that recipe for several years. Then she got to the point where she just couldn't do that grating, so she cuts the corn off, puts it in a blender. She uses a Ninja and blends it up and adds all of the ingredients to make a most delicious cake. So we'll show you the rest of the video as we get those things prepared for you. So of course the first thing you got to do is you got to get your corn ready. And so right now my mom is cutting both ends of the corn off, and then it makes it easier to get the shuck done. So she's going to do probably 1.5 dozen ears of corn. Now, I've always told you I love to use leftovers. So in a previous video, we had some boiled corn. Well, guess what? We're going to take that boiled corn, we're going to use that and going to incorporate it into making this grated/gritted bread. So as I just told you, she's cutting both ends off and getting that corn cleaned up, and you can see how easy she takes that knife, goes down the middle, and the shuck comes right off. Okay, so to go with our corn, which you can see that my mom has got all cleaned up, she'll wash that, then she's going to cut it off, and then she'll put it in that Ninja. But we're going to have some pork chops. Now these are already thin, but what I'm going to do, as you've seen me done in another video, I am going to pound these out till they're really thin, and then you know what I'm going to season them with? You got it. Salt, olive oil, and pepper. So I'm going to get these pounded, and we'll get that cooking. So I did the first two so that you can see. So I pounded 2 of them so I could show you how thin that I've got these. You can almost see the light through them. Not quite. But I pounded those out. Then we're going to get them all seasoned up. Alright? Let's rinse our hands off a little bit here. So we're getting ready to finish this up. So look at that. Nice and thin, beautiful piece of pork. So we're gonna put those over there and get some olive oil, a little pepper, and a little salt. So we're gonna let those do the little thing a little bit, and then we're gonna throw them on the flat top. So here's my mom taking those ears of corn and cutting that corn off. Now I want to take this time to show you a couple other things. We'll be back in just a second. So I hope that y'all will pardon me for my bad manners, but I do want to introduce some very special people in my life. And you've already met my mom, but I will talk a little bit about that more. But this is my dad. He is my senior. And, of course, this is my mom. Now, they have been married 66 years. And I'll just go ahead and tell you, I'm 65 years old. So they got pretty busy real quick. Now, my dad is 88 years old. My mom is 83. And I think they do a great and a wonderful job. Now, you already saw my mom preparing lunch because myself and my younger brother, we're going to go out and saw some wood up and cut some pasture up. And so, of course, when we go out and work, we're going to be hungry and we want some lunch. But I'm going to show you what my dad does as part of that cleaning that corn. So, let's go see.
Them dogs was coming up in the shade.
So, Dad, what are you going to be doing?
I'm going to take the shucks and the cobs out and pour it out to the deer. And I'll put it out where we can see them.
Oh, so
they come by, eat every bit of it.
So you feed the deer as well?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's go see what you do.
Okay.
So here goes my dad with his faithful companions.
Move, Byron. Move, Kelly. Let's go. Let's go. Yo. Come on. Let's go. Let's go get the squirrels and get to the water. Come on. Let's go. Come on, Byron. Here. Over here. Byron. Here. Here. Byron. Over here. Here, Byron. Here. Here. Come on, Kelly. Let's go. Come on.
So, Dad, you're going to take those cobs
Yeah.
and you're going to just pour them out there in that little pile where you poured out a little earlier.
Yeah.
And the deer will come in late this afternoon,
Yeah.
maybe even early in the morning, and they'll come and eat the remnants of that. And so will the squirrels, right?
There'll be nothing left by the morning.
By the morning, it'll all be gone.
Just about hour, yeah.
Let's go over here. What's this behind us over here, Dad?
Where?
Let's walk over here.
Where? Over here?
What it tells us about this little pond.
Oh, that's a... your mom's daddy had this done. You know the soil conservationists.
Mm-hmm.
They come through here.
All right, let's stop here just a second.
Okay.
Tell me what kind of fish you got in there.
He's got some real big catfish, and then there's some of the smaller ones. I don't know what.
Any bass?
They might be, but there's some big, that long.
Well, my goodness.
And I come out and feed them. They'll come up and eat it.
Oh, good. Well, maybe we'll get to do that later.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what Bear's doing down here. Oh, he's down there getting him a drink of water.
Yeah, and he's getting him some of that grass and stuff they eat for their stomach.
If
They know what it is. Watch them.
Uh-huh.
Kelly, come on.
All righty. Well, I think we better get back. Me and little brother's got some work to do.
Okay.
So, we've got that corn all cut off. We've got it in the Ninja blender. And we're going to hit the power and so now that that's done, in just a second, we'll be pouring it into that pan. And then we're going to add a little bit of salt.
3/4 cup of sugar.
3/4 cups of sugar.
Cup and a half of flour.
A cup and a half of flour. 3 eggs. And then once that is mixed, she's already got her pans ready, the iron skillets. She'll pour it in. You put it in the oven and bake it like cornbread. So let's get it put together. So you can see the consistency of that corn. That Ninja did a good job. I guess you saw that she put a pinch of salt. There goes the sugar. Next we're going to have the flour. One egg. 2 eggs. And the third one. I'm going to take that and get it all mixed up really good. And next is pour it in the pan. So let's get this stirred up. So she's going to transfer that into something easier to pour out of. I believe she's done this before. So that's the first batch. We have got the oven preheated to 450 degrees. And now they're getting ready to go in and bake. Now how long do we bake those, Mom?
15 to 20 minutes.
15 to 20 minutes, okay. Any particular reason you're only going to the bottom?
Yeah, to get it brown.
To get it brown, okay. All right, that timer is set and we're ready to go. So we've got that Blackstone warmed up again. We've got our thin sliced pork chops pounded, ready to go. So let's throw them on the grill. This ain't gonna take long. So we've got those pork chops on. I can already hear them sizzling. Can already see them starting to cook. So look at that. I do believe that's ready to turn. Those are looking good. You still see a little pink in there. Just give them a few more minutes. All right, I turned the grill off. We got those 2 little pieces, need just a little bit more. But just look at that. Delicious. So apparently, these 2 old boys have been out there cutting wood and working on the farm. they heard breakfast was, not breakfast, but lunch was ready, the dinner bell. And, you know, when that thing starts ringing, somehow they all start coming in to get some of that good gritty bread. Oh, I'm ready for it. So here we go. They are done. And we're getting ready to plate them. We'll show you that in just a second. So here we go. Oh my goodness. Look at that nice crusty bottom. All right, we're getting ready to take them over to the table. So, we've got all 4 pans plated. Put a generous amount of healthy butter on there. There's our flattened out pork chops and good old tomatoes. All we got to do now is sit down and get that butter melted, cut it up, and eat it. Yum, yum. All right, so here we are. I'm going to show you what the inside of this looks like. Do you hear that crunch? Oh yeah. So what I like to do is sort of peel that back a little bit, let that good juice get in there, and then we dig in. Sweet, crunchy, perfecto. Well, once again, my mom outdid me. So, as usual, I'm hungry. So, let's get to eating, and I'll see you on down the trail.